Welcome to the Brit Tales, where every story is more than just words on a page. It's a journey of discovery, courage, and growth. Here, ordinary days turn into extraordinary adventures, and hidden talents shine in ways no one expects. Our tales remind us that stepping into a challenge brings nerves, yes, but also hope. And with every small step of training, discipline and effort transform into strength. When the big moment arrives, the atmosphere, the cheering, and the determination carry us forward, proving that every finish line is not only about winning, but about growth and pride. And beyond the finish line, the story inspires us to keep dreaming, to keep trying, and to never stop improving. So sit back, listen closely, and let these British English stories guide you, motivate you, and remind you that every learner has the power to keep moving forward. A normal day has a way of surprising us, often when we least expect it. What begins as something simple, something ordinary, can suddenly turn into a journey that changes the way we see ourselves. Imagine waking up in the morning, expecting nothing more than a regular routine. You get dressed, you step outside, and you feel the same familiar air. Yet within that same ordinary moment, life hides a secret waiting to be discovered. That is the beauty of hidden talents. They don't arrive with grand announcements. They arrive quietly, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. At first, there is no thought of greatness, no idea that anything remarkable is about to happen. The day feels just like yesterday, but then, through an unexpected chance, a spark appears. It might be as simple as taking a run through the neighborhood or joining in with friends for fun. What feels casual soon begins to feel different. There is a rhythm in the steps, a speed that feels natural, and suddenly the realization comes. This is not just ordinary movement, it is a strength, a gift that has been waiting all along. That discovery brings a kind of joy that cannot easily be explained. It is the joy of finding out that you are capable of something you never gave much thought to before. It is the smile that grows wider with every step, the breath that feels stronger even when the body grows tired. This is how excitement is born in the most natural way. Something once hidden has made itself visible, and the ordinary day is no longer ordinary at all. The first instinct is often surprise. How could this be? How could something so simple suddenly feel so powerful? Yet the answer is clear. Talents often stay silent until the right moment arrives, and once they speak, they cannot be ignored. With each passing moment, curiosity grows. What if this is more than just fun? What if this talent could be tested, sharpened, and celebrated? These questions rise quietly in the heart, but they bring energy, they bring purpose, they bring the beginning of a journey. The discovery does more than just reveal ability. It changes perspective. It shows that potential is not something far away, not something only others have, but something that lives within, waiting to be awakened. The confidence that comes with this is gentle at first, like a whisper. But as the steps continue, as the body learns to trust its strength, that whisper becomes a voice, and that voice says, maybe this is possible, maybe there is more to explore, maybe this is the beginning of something greater than I imagined. And so the day that started as nothing special becomes unforgettable. It becomes the day where limits were questioned and new horizons appeared. The ordinary transforms into the extraordinary, not because of the world outside, but because of what was discovered inside. A hidden talent has been revealed, and with it, the promise of challenges to face, races to run, and goals to chase. That is how an unremarkable morning becomes the first chapter of a remarkable story. A hidden gift is no longer hidden. A quiet skill has stepped into the light, and from that moment forward, nothing will ever feel the same again. The moment a challenge is placed before us, everything changes. It is no longer about simply discovering a talent or enjoying the thrill of something new. It becomes about the decision to take that next step, the choice to enter the unknown. That choice is never easy. It stirs the heart, it shakes the nerves, it makes the mind ask 1,000 questions at once. Will I be good enough? What if I fail? What if people laugh? What if I cannot finish what I started? These thoughts arrive quickly, and they can feel heavy. Yet at the very same time, there is another feeling, softer but stronger. It is hope. It is the quiet voice that says, but what if you succeed? What if you surprise yourself? What if this challenge is the very thing you were made for? This is the balance every challenge brings. Nervousness walks on one side, hope walks on the other, and in the middle there you stand, choosing which voice to listen to. The courage to step forward does not come from ignoring fear, but from carrying it and moving anyway. Courage is not about the absence of nerves, it is about walking with them and still saying yes. It is about standing at the start line with your stomach tight and your hands shaking, but still deciding to take that first step forward. When you agree to a challenge, you are saying more than I will try. You are saying, I am willing to grow. I am willing to be tested. I am willing to discover something about myself that I cannot see yet. That is why nervousness exists. It is the mind's way of telling us that this moment matters. And hope exists too, to remind us that within this test, there lies a possibility of transformation. Both emotions are necessary because without nervousness we would not take the challenge seriously, and without hope we would never dare to begin. Think of the preparation that follows the decision. Every practice, every effort, every late night thought is shaped by both fear and hope. Fear whispers that it might be too much, that maybe you are not ready, but hope answers by giving you energy to keep moving, by reminding you of the excitement that first lit the spark. That constant push and pull is what makes the journey meaningful. It is what builds strength, not only in the body but in the mind, and then comes the day of the challenge itself. The air feels different, the noise around you is louder than usual, yet inside, every sound is muffled by the thumping of your own heartbeat. You see others around you, each with their own mix of nerves and determination. You feel your knees tremble, your breath tighten, but also a strange calmness hidden underneath. It is the realization that no matter what happens, this moment is already a victory, because showing up takes courage. Standing at the edge of the unknown is itself an act of strength. Nervousness does not disappear when the challenge begins. It runs alongside you, step after step, but so does hope, keeping pace, urging you not to give up. And with every move forward, courage grows stronger because courage feeds on action. Each moment you keep going, you prove to yourself that fear cannot control you. You show that the challenge is not just about reaching the finish line, but about daring to start in the first place. That is the true power of courage. It transforms nervousness into energy, and it turns hope into reality. It reminds us that the most important race is not against others, but against our own doubts. And once we find the strength to begin, we are already closer to victory. Training is where the real story begins. Discovery and courage may open the door, but it is training that teaches what it means to walk through it. At first, it can feel overwhelming. The body is not used to the routine, the mind is not ready for the repetition, and the spirit questions if the effort is truly worth it. Yet training is never about instant results. It is about building something slowly, piece by piece, day by day. It is about understanding that progress is measured in small steps, not giant leaps. Every morning when the shoes are laced and the path is chosen, discipline is being formed. Discipline is not about doing what is easy. It is about showing up even when the body is tired, even when the excitement of the first day has faded. It is about learning that success is not born in a single moment of glory, but in countless moments of unseen effort. Each run, each breath, each drop of sweat becomes a brick laid in the foundation of strength. And while no one else may notice those small victories, they are shaping something far greater than what the eye can see. The journey of training teaches patience above all else. At the beginning, steps may feel clumsy, speed may be slow, and results may seem far away. But slowly, with consistency, the body begins to respond. Muscles strengthen, lungs expand, and confidence grows. What once felt impossible begins to feel natural, and then what felt natural begins to feel powerful. This is the reward of persistence, not sudden transformation, but steady growth that cannot be taken away. Effort is the key that keeps this process alive. There are days when motivation is low, when the mind whispers excuses, and when staying comfortable feels far more tempting than pushing forward. But training reminds us that effort is not about waiting for the perfect mood. Effort is a choice made again and again, regardless of how we feel. It is the decision to put in the work today so that tomorrow becomes easier. And with each effort, even the smallest one, the gap between where we are and where we want to be begins to close. There is also a powerful lesson in the value of small steps. Often we dream of the finish line, the medal, the celebration. But training teaches that greatness is hidden in the ordinary moments, the early rises, the steady breathing, the extra kilometer added at the end. Those small steps are the ones that build endurance, sharpen focus, and prepare the heart for bigger challenges. Without them, the dream remains distant. With them, the dream begins to take shape. Each practice becomes more than just exercise. It becomes a reminder that success is a collection of small efforts repeated day after day. It shows that discipline, once difficult, can become a habit. It shows that effort, once draining, can become energizing. And it shows that small steps, once unnoticed, can lead to distances we never thought possible. Training may not be glamorous, and it may not always feel exciting, but it is in those quiet, consistent moments that transformation is born. Discipline is learned, effort is strengthened, and the value of small steps is revealed. And it is those lessons that prepare us not just for a race, but for every challenge life places in front of us. The big race is the moment everything has been leading toward. The days of training, the small victories, the effort, and the discipline all point to this one event. As the sun rises on that day, there is a feeling in the air that is different from any other morning. The streets are lined with people, their voices buzzing with excitement, the sound of laughter and conversation mixing with the music that plays in the background. Bright banners wave in the wind, numbers are pinned to shirts, and every runner carries the same blend of nerves and determination. The atmosphere itself feels alive, as if it knows that something important is about to take place. Standing at the start line is unlike anything else. The world seems to shrink into that single space, filled with pounding hearts and restless feet. The announcer's voice echoes through the air, but it barely reaches the mind, because all that matters in that moment is the race about to begin. There is a silence that is louder than noise, the silence inside, where focus builds, where the body prepares, where hope and fear collide. And then the sound comes, a signal, a horn, a shout. It doesn't matter what form it takes, only that it marks the beginning. Suddenly the stillness breaks, and the crowd surges forward. With each step, determination takes over. The body remembers the hours of training, the rhythm of breathing, the power of persistence. Every cheer from the crowd feels like fuel, carrying the runners forward, reminding them that they are not alone in this journey. The sound of clapping hands, the voices shouting encouragement, the sight of children holding signs, all of it creates an energy that fills the air with strength. It is impossible not to feel lifted by that spirit. The race becomes more than a physical challenge. It becomes a celebration, a shared moment between the runner and everyone who believes in what is possible. Yet inside, the battle is personal. The legs grow heavy, the lungs burn, and the question arises, can I keep going? Determination answers every time with a steady voice that says, yes, you can. Step by step, the body is pushed further than before, but the mind refuses to let go. The thought of stopping comes, but so does the memory of the journey, the training, the courage, the small victories along the way. That memory strengthens the will, reminding that this moment is not just about running a race, but about proving that effort and discipline have meaning. As the path winds forward, the finish line still feels far, but there is no turning back. Every corner brings new cheers, every stride feels both exhausting and empowering. The sound of determination is everywhere, feet striking the pavement, breaths drawn deep, hearts beating with one goal in mind. And then, far ahead, the sight of the finish line begins to appear. It is more than a line on the ground. It is a symbol of everything endured, everything fought for, everything dreamed of. The closer it comes, the louder the atmosphere becomes. Cheering rises, voices blend into a roar, and the final energy awakens inside. The body may ache, but the spirit feels unstoppable. With the last push of strength, the finish line is crossed. In that moment, every drop of sweat, every moment of doubt, every ounce of effort feels worth it. The race is not just finished, it is won in the heart, because the true victory was never about speed, but about determination that refused to give up. Crossing the finish line is a moment that holds more meaning than most people realize. At first, it may seem like it is all about winning, about being the fastest, about reaching that line before anyone else. But when you are the one running, when you are the one carrying the weight of training, courage, and discipline, the finish line becomes something much deeper. It is not simply a mark on the ground or the end of a race. It is the proof of growth, the reward of pride, and the celebration of a journey that could have ended long before but didn't. As the line draws closer, the mind remembers every small step that built the path here. It recalls the mornings when getting out of bed was difficult, the evenings when exhaustion made the body want to stop, and the countless moments of doubt that whispered, "You cannot do this." Each of those struggles is carried across the finish line, not as a burden, but as a reminder that they were overcome. Growth comes from those very struggles, from the refusal to surrender, from the decision to keep moving forward even when it hurt. The truth is, not everyone crosses first, but everyone who crosses grows. That growth is not measured in medals or times, but in resilience, confidence, and self-belief. The finish line teaches that progress is personal. For one runner, it may be about breaking a record. For another, it may simply be about finishing for the first time. Both are victories, because both prove that strength is not only about the result, but about the effort it took to arrive. And then comes the pride, not the loud kind that seeks attention, but the quiet pride that settles deep in the heart. It is the pride of knowing that you did not give up, the pride of recognizing how far you have come, the pride of realizing that this moment is the result of discipline, courage, and countless small steps that no one else may have seen. Pride is not found in the applause or in the medal placed around the neck. Pride is found in the simple truth that you faced a challenge and finished it. There is also a lesson in humility at the finish line. Standing there, surrounded by others who have also pushed themselves, you see not just your own journey, but the journeys of those around you. Each runner has their own story, their own battle, their own growth. The finish line reminds us that victory is not a single definition. It is not only about who came first, but about what each person discovered within themselves along the way. When the body finally rests and the race is over, the finish line lingers in memory as more than an event. It becomes a symbol, a reminder that challenges in life are not only about reaching an end point, but about who we become in the process. That is why every finish line feels different, and yet all share the same truth. The real reward is not the place you earned, but the person you became. And so, the finish line stands not as the end of a race, but as the beginning of a stronger self, one built on growth, effort, and the quiet pride of never giving up. A story like this does more than entertain. It speaks to something within us, something that wants to believe in the possibility of more. Watching a simple journey turn into a powerful achievement reminds us that life is full of chances waiting to be taken. The lesson is clear. Dreaming is not a waste of time. It is the first step to change. Dreams are not just pictures in our imagination. They are sparks that push us to think bigger, to imagine ourselves doing things we never thought we could. And when we see courage and persistence come alive in a story, those sparks grow brighter, encouraging us to dream our own dreams with confidence. Dreams, however, are not enough on their own. The story also teaches the value of trying, of putting those dreams into motion. Trying is where many people hesitate. They think of the possibility of failure, the fear of judgment, or the weight of not being good enough. Yet the truth is, trying is where growth begins. Even the smallest effort, even a step that feels unsure, moves us closer to becoming the person we want to be. A race is never won by standing still, and life is never shaped by waiting for the perfect moment. The act of trying, no matter the outcome, brings us forward. And then comes the reminder that improvement is not a destination, but a lifelong journey. No one starts at the top. No one begins with perfect skill, strength, or knowledge. Improvement is built slowly, just as a runner builds endurance step by step. Every challenge faced, every mistake corrected, every lesson learned becomes part of that process. The story shows us that success is not about reaching a single finish line and stopping there. It is about continuing, setting new goals, and refusing to settle for less than what we are capable of. Improvement is the sign of a living, growing spirit that knows there is always more to discover. What makes the story truly inspiring is how ordinary it begins. It does not start with greatness, it starts with something small, a hidden talent, a decision to try, a simple beginning. That ordinariness is what makes it powerful. Because if greatness can grow from something small there, it can grow from something small in us too. The story reflects the truth that anyone, no matter where they are, can dream, can try, and can improve. It is not reserved for a chosen few. It belongs to everyone willing to believe in the possibility of change. The inspiration continues long after the story is told. It stays in the heart, whispering at moments when we feel unsure. It encourages us when the road feels heavy, when improvement feels slow, when dreams feel distant. It says, keep going. It reminds us that success is not only for the ones who never stumble, but for the ones who stumble and rise again, for the ones who never stop reaching, for the ones who continue to believe even when progress feels invisible. That is the true power of this story. It does not end when the final word is spoken or the finish line is crossed. It lives on in every learner who listens and thinks, maybe I can do that too. It awakens the courage to dream bigger, to take that first step of trying, and to continue improving without end. And it leaves us with the unshakable truth that growth is always possible, as long as we never stop moving forward. Thank you for joining us here on the Brit Tales. Today's journey showed us how an ordinary day can uncover hidden talents, how courage allows us to step into challenges with both nerves and hope, and how training teaches discipline, effort, and the value of small steps. We felt the excitement of the big race, filled with cheering and determination, and we learned that every finish line is more than winning. It is about growth, pride, and becoming stronger than before. Most of all, the story reminded us to keep dreaming, to keep trying, and to never stop improving. These lessons don't stay only in the story. They belong to you in every part of your learning journey. So carry them with you, let them inspire your next steps, and remember, each small effort brings you closer to your own finish line. Until next time, keep moving forward with courage,